Decided to start out the morning heading for the offsite job. Got a little detoured. So I want to show you guys the benefit of the X6i, the Stafix X6i with a remote. This is not a paid advertisement at all. We aren't at that level. Just really happy with the device. It allows you to grab the remote and go make some fence repairs when stuff happens unexpectedly. Like one of the pigs got out of their pen. Now they're all in the hard corral, which is electric fence inside of a stretched woven wire fence. So we did that when we didn't have a lot of resources. I know you don't want electric near metal. Trust me, I agree. So this is like the hardened area, so we could put the bull in here with the cattle so he could acclimate to us and the property and we get used to him. And the pigs are sharing a corner of it in their own electric fence. So we gave them their section a long time ago. It turns out that something's wrong. And the fence was, I don't know, the grass is really wet, had a lot of grass growing up on it. Pigs had pushed a lot over and they're wallowing. So it's the joy of pasture-raised animals, dealing with grass and tall grasses that doesn't get eaten right next to the fence line. Not fast enough anyway. So that's a cool thing about the Stafix. You just walk around, you're trying to figure out, troubleshoot where your short is. Well, I'm way out here at the, I'm not going to say way, I'm that far from the barn. I'm out here trying to figure out where my short is, and you know, now I've got to go back and turn the fence off in order to grab some grass and pull on some fence, and you know, just as easy. Just go back, grab the Stafix remote, and get back out there. So I'm going to do a couple of things that aren't to the manual, and we'll go over that in a minute. But long story short, take your remote, the front pin, pull up on the wire, and you can turn the fence on or off and check its status real quick. Now, if you want to use it as a actual, not as a remote, but more of as a meter, use the back or the top, and it gets you a good reading on your actual output of the fence and direction of a short according to the machine. So don't know the magic there, but it works pretty well. By the way, trying to coax a piggy back into a gate, she didn't trust it. She thinks there's a wire there, which is funny because we move them through gates, but pigs are pigs and stubborn as they want to be. So we'll try to pull her through and see what happens. I'm calling out Piggy and talking to her, and her sisters are all standing there and everybody's behaving. Just when I think she's about to come in, she just assumes there's a line there and just stops. So after a little standoff for a while, I was a little ahead of the game. Mike didn't have a chance to get out and join me fast enough. She just refuses to come on in. Food's in there, I'm in there, sisters are in there, everybody's calm. Nope, she's gonna hang out with the big kids. There she goes. By the way, if you've seen Abundance of Caution, that's the new bull. We've had him on the property for just under a day, not even a full 24 hours. He doesn't know us, we don't know him. But this pig's gone out and she's become the ambassador, so nose to nose she goes. Don't want to leave her out there. Definitely not safe. They're tall and heavy and she could get stepped on, so we're going to try to pull her out of the herd. Hang on to your hats. She's going to stay with the big kids. How do you remove a pig from a herd of cattle with a new bull quietly? And this is our best attempt, and we do pretty good at it. Mike does a good job of walking them around, and the animals do the rest. My standby buddies just hang out with me, keep everybody come, and let them separate. Now the pig's coming up the fence line. The cattle won't step out. I'm trying to pay attention to two things at once. He's driving her up the line, and she just shoots back through the fence, probably where she got out before. So I'm tending to the gate. The cattle are all up on top of us, so I had to ask for a little bit of help. And finally, they wouldn't back up. I tried shooing. Not a big deal. I don't mind the cattle being curious. Just busy. So send them out. They know the dogs are with me, so they'll keep their distance. We'll just keep using that Stafix. Found a wire that had been pulled down, probably when she bolted through it. Now again, this is built wrong. This is all the stuff that we had at the time. When I first started, we built this little corner pin. And the absolute wrong way to do it is that bottom insulator. Should have been using a ceramic like the top one so I could pull, but they pulled it straight out of the bottom insulator, so I have to go wire that back in. A little bit different. We'll address it later. This whole pin will come out and get changed around probably at the end of this season. This is just a temporary holding facility. If you're using it as a meter and not as a remote, you really got to use the back or that little tip on the top. But as a remote, just to be able to turn something off without having to walk back in the barn, so you can grab a hold of the wire, pull something loose, clear some grass, this little device is a godsend. It does give you a meter reading. It is just, I found it more accurate on the back and the top, just like in the instructions. I use it more as like a litmus test when I first turn it on, see if I'm getting a similar reading than I was down the fence further. But it is not as accurate as using the back of it. You'll see me keep turning the fence on. I'm listening for pops, trying to see if I have a nearby short, checking to see if I'm getting communication on the wires that I think should be hot. But it's a really wet, grassy day. So when I'm clearing the grass, I would really rather not have a shock through the boot. So we'll just pop her back on and pop her back off, work a little bit, pop her back on. And then you're listening from the familiar ticks and clicks, looking to see if it's touching metal, if it's laid up on a heavy weed that it just hadn't burned through yet this morning. And then you turn the system back on when you're done. Easy peasy. Today looked pretty easy. We got it all up and running, but this little tool, I know it's expensive, guys. When you're out just trying to mend fence or put in one of those limiters, maybe working with a gate, changing out an insulator, and you're at the back of the property, not to have to come all the way back to the barn is worth its weight in gold. There you have it, Stafix X6i remote. Guys, spend the money, get the right equipment, save yourself a bunch of time.